Okay, welcome back to the 13th installment of the Nichathan Gaming speed spelling application. So we just finished making everything perfect for our computer style game, but what if you want to play it on your Android? Then let's go to our scenes. We've got our desktop scene. I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to make sure at the bottom it says desktop scene 1. I'm going to rename that, and instead of desktop scene 1, let's make it Android scene. While we're here in our desktop scene, we can actually go to build settings, PC, Windows. Here's our architecture. It has our desktop scene, and you can click build scene and then save it to wherever you want your speed speller application file to be saved. You can even set the compression method. Okay, but I don't want to actually build it, so that's how you would go about doing it if you wanted to make an executable file that your friends can play, or you can upload to a place to sell it. Okay, but now let's go over to our Android scene. Our Android scene currently is the same as our other scene, but we're going to make some changes. First and foremost, we're going to flip these. So instead of 1920 by 1080, it's going to be 1080 by 1920. Then we also need to go into our game and switch our game from 1920 by 1080 to the mobile 1080 by 1920. Now I find, after testing, that if I keep things as it is now, it does not work quite well because the horizontal bar is too low. So here, let's open up a new page and let's dye that white. Okay, so what I've noticed is, imagine this is our screen. When you touch the text box or the input field of the Android, then your keyboard will pop up, and your keyboard takes up a good 50 to 40% of the screen, maybe a little bit less. So where I like to put the horizontal bar is right here at about halfway, and you'll get the text box telling you what you're typing anyways, so it's okay to hide our text box a little bit. Plus, the distance from here to here is just about the same as with typing on the computer. So now, back to our game. So let's take the game canvas. Let's go to the game area. The horizontal bar is at negative 350 right now. Let's set that to 0. And let's also take our input field and raise that up. Let's go, I like this, so let's set it to negative 150. There's one more thing that you want to do since it's Android. You just go into your edit project settings, I believe. Yes, to the player. Then you want to click Android, and you want to click the resolution and presentation, and you want to say that they are always at portrait, because if you rotate this, then it will be just way too small for you to actually play the game. By the time the word spawns, you're dead, and that's no fun. It still works in theory, but just not fun. So yeah, if you want to try and make a second one for tablets, you could do that. And then, of course, as always, to publish this is ready to be published right now. You would go to build settings, Android, you would need to switch platform, which will take a few minutes or a few seconds depending on how good your computer is. Yeah, here mine goes. Okay. And I will pause the video until it's done. And just like that, it's done. So you would click the build settings, and this time you're exporting or saving an APK or building an APK. And this file you just transfer over to your mobile device. I'm not sure if it will work on an Apple phone or a Macintosh phone, but it will definitely work on a Windows or Android phone. And you will get quite a lot of warnings from Windows because they're like, we don't recognize this developer, it's not from us, we don't recommend you do this. But of course, you typed all of the code, you know that there's not a virus in it, and if you're, yeah, and that's just how you do it. We've got a few minutes left, so I would like to talk about other things that you can do to improve your game. Let's see, let's go to portrait. Yeah. Okay, so other things you can do to improve, of course, are to set a background, make better user interfaces, make things prettier, of course, adding images. You can also look at the examples of other people. So I first played a game like this back in the early 2000s when I was playing Neopets online. And they had a game where you were in an alien spaceship and there were other alien spaceships coming towards you, and you had to type the word under their spaceship to blow them up and save the galaxy. So pretty much to handle that, you would just drag your word prefab image over, oh well, right here, and then you just add an image here. So you add the image here of like an alien spaceship or something like that, and you let them type it, and you add some like explosion animation on remove. There are lots of fun things that you can add to it. You know, be creative, and many other things you can do in your code as well. Just like we talked about with your start game, you set the difficulty level. So currently our difficulty is on how fast the words spawn and how fast the words move. Another thing you can do is you can make the movements more random. So in our update method, you'll see that every word moves at the same speed. We send the same word movement speed always. But what you can do is when you create the words itself, you can add another public float movement speed. This way words can have speeds, from the basic 10 to a speed of 50, which would be awful. But yeah, the sky's the limit. Really, this video series was to show you how to do things, show you the possibilities. I always recommend that you go to unitylearn.com if you want to get some more specific things, but as you're beginning coming up with the ideas of doing things and figuring out how to go about doing it can be hard, because you never know what you don't know. So I really appreciate that you watched this video series, and I hope you watch my other ones when I get done creating them. Thank you very much, and goodbye.